Collective, today we are going to be discussing receiving. Okay. Last night I received this beautiful, beautiful message from the divine. And the question that was posed to me, and I do feel like this is for divine feminines within the collective, the question that was posed to me was if a flower was given to you, or if you forged it yourself and you felt like it had more love, which one do you think is better? The answer that they gave me was neither. It's whichever one you perceive it to be. You see, the flower, let's say this is a flower that's edible, okay? And you're able to consume it, whether you picked it yourself, okay, or whether it was given to you, it still serves the same purpose. And if it's being given to you, it's being presented by the divine with love, your divine counterpart with love. And, because I said both. And then that's why Spirit was like, neither. It's whichever one you perceive it to be. And so I said, okay, I was like, this is the message that I want to give and I want to leave the collective because I understand how important it is. We're venturing to new journeys within our life. Okay. And in venturing into new journeys within our lives, new things are opening and they're starting to unfold in beautiful ways. Now, for some of you, there are your divine counterparts is aligned with you. Your divine counterpart could be aligned with you physically, energetically, okay? And spiritually you could feel them. So the first card that came out was bedroom. And I already know what spirit is going the message that spirit is ultimately getting to in this, because how can you have someone, whether physically, okay, whether energetically, spiritually, in your bedroom, right, sharing energetic space with you, and they're not taking care of home? They want to have access to your essence, okay? They want to have access to your time, to your body, to your mind, okay? They want to have access to all depths of you. And are you going to hold a particular standard? It's not that you can't do for yourself, okay? But I do feel like some of you are dealing with wounds that are so deep that it speaks to masculine energy not actually stepping up to the plate, and you settling for less. You settling for a partner that's like, oh, 50-50, a partner that doesn't actively see the value that you have to give, okay, to your home, to your union. And you are right now, I feel like that's changed, okay? However, I do feel like there's deep issues in receiving. And you having these deep issues in receiving, you are putting up roadblocks where your partner, regardless of whatever form he is in, cannot come in and assist you. And so these questions are being posed to the collective, because collective, what are you going to do to change the dynamics? Change the dynamics of the relationships that you've had prior to the new one that you are in. Are you going to allow yourself to receive? Because guess what? You're not just receiving and not doing anything in return, you're giving. Okay, divine feminines and divine masculines play two very different roles, and in connecting with each other and playing these two different roles, you are fulfilling deep feminine needs within his life. You are that nurture, you are that safe space, you are that safe haven outside of the world, you are that spiritual insight. Okay, you are the soft pillow that he can lay his head on. When you get home, you are that comfort, you are that warm blanket that his inner child can wrap himself in. His role is to be the protector and the provider. And you've been conditioned through generational cycles of women being strong, of women being the powerful one, of women being the one that, had to hold the house together. We hold the house together in a very different way. So let him be the protector and the provider. And I say this with love because I'm also speaking to myself when I give these messages. I I've also, was instilled when I was young, oh, if you don't work for it, you don't earn it. You know what I mean? Or excuse me, yeah, if you don't work for it, you didn't earn it. I said that backwards. But the point is that you have earned it. You're earning it with your love, you're earning it with your compassion, you're earning it with your spiritual insight, you're earning it by following the imprints in your heart. You have been listening to this divine masculine, okay, in very deep ways. And in listening to this divine masculine, sorry about that, I lost my placement because of something. But the whole point is you are now changing the dynamics, okay, of relationships that you are engaging in and that you are currently in. And in changing these dynamics, you have to be willing to receive. You have to be willing to allow your divine masculine to be the divine masculine, because otherwise it's not operational. It's not operating in the way that the creator intended for divine feminine and divine masculine energy to operate. And if you are with your eternal flame, your divine counterpart, this is a very crucial time within your life, okay? In co-creation together, and allow your magnetics to draw to you what you desire, but ultimately, um allow his manifest sorry, I went blank there, but allow his manifestation to come to the forefront in your life, okay? And this is going to change the dynamics of what you receive, what you are engaging in, okay? So he wants access to your oasis, and guess what? He doesn't deserve access to your aces if he's not taking care of you, and anyone, it's not just your oasis from that standpoint. It's also your mental space, okay? You are his playground, you are his safe haven, you are home. And then we have the next card that came out was Diamond. I feel like this is to crystalline energy. You are having upgrades right now, and these upgrades that are happening to your gifts, to your light body, to your, I'm hearing boom space, or your magnetism. This is with these upgrades, you don't have to keep repeating the same cycles. And I know that it can be difficult to believe that certain cycles aren't going to repeat themselves, but you're no longer the same version. You're no longer carrying that same energy resonance, okay, that you were carrying before. So you are a completely new person. You have been reborn. And in this, you are operating from higher consciousness, higher light energy, or you're able to hold more light. So you don't have to repeat those same cycles. Okay. This is where it's going. And I feel like the next card came out as Yoga. This is deep contemplation within yourself. And I feel like this has been happening on a collective spectrum, but I do feel like this is also happening, with me personally, is going within, realizing what do we want, what are we willing to accept, what are we willing to not accept, right? And really sitting with ourselves, what is born, what patterns have been born based off of trauma, and letting them go, right? And seeing that they're from wounded aspects, and saying no more, I choose better, I want better for myself. And in choosing better and wanting better for yourself, we have the rainbow, okay? So I feel like this is some wishes granted, and I feel like your divine masculine is going to be coming to the forefront even more. I feel like your divine masculine is going to be working and actively putting your gifts and your desires to the forefront, right? Because you're allowing him to do so at this time. And because you are allowing him to do so at this time, okay, you're going to be receiving these blessings. You're going to be having, it's like the promise of the creator bringing you guys together, okay? I feel like for some there's going to be a clear audience coming in, communication, and that's actually, you know what, I'm laughing at the, not yet, I'll get to it at the end. But in that, I feel like there's gifts that are coming in. I feel like this is where you're going to be seeing more manifestations of the life that you ultimately desire. The next card that came out is Sapphire. I do believe that this is to the third eye. Third eye upgrades, having more visions. I've been actively seeing things more times. So I feel like this is an expansion of third eye. I do feel like this is where you are allowing your spiritual sight to come online. You are no longer denying your gifts. You are no longer running. And you're also in a place where you're no longer like, oh, this needs to happen. And because you're no longer in a watch pot, type of energy, because a watch pot never boils, these things are starting to come online because you're having a very healthy detachment from everything in life, okay? And in having this healthy detachment from all things, you are starting to see yourself clearly because you have the mirror. And I feel like this is a lot of I've been talking about people kind of falling in love with themselves, and this has been a very deep energy in the collective. But you're starting to become more self aware. You're starting to become self aware. I don't want to say become, because I feel like you have been self aware, right? But there's obviously levels to this. So the self awareness is becoming deeper. You're realizing, the projections of others in your energetic space. You are starting to see yourself clearly, right? From the light that you were always meant to see yourself. You are, really, I feel like self-assessment, what works, with this version of yourself, what doesn't work with this version of self, and you're throwing out what doesn't. The self-awareness is like, okay, but what behaviors or what even limiting beliefs are rooted in, hurt and pain, and what is new, what is propelling me to my highest state of conscious growth. So I feel like you are having very intimate personal moments with self-reflection, right? Of seeing the God within, seeing what you can create, seeing what is capable. This is what you're capable of doing, what you're capable of aligning with, and ultimately what you desire. So also, you're also seeing the version of your ideal self, and you're working on, you know crafting that version every single day. I'm not going to say that every single day you are perfect. I'm not going to sit here and say that every single day is flawless, but you are actively putting in effort to embody that version every single day of yourself, and you're doing a good job. The next card that I got is Castle. So I feel like this is, I do feel like there is still a little bit of resistance in this. I do feel like there could be a little bit of pride in you. And this is very hard, rooted, right? Like hard, it's ingrained, okay? Because of like past traumas and not wanting to really divulge into a certain level of vulnerability, okay? Um, I feel like, however, your divine masculine is breaking down those walls. He will be showing up and showing himself, and I feel like he has been. And I feel like for you, you've been a little resistant, but you also like it. Okay, so there's a little confusion there, but I do feel like you're also saying, hey, if you're coming at me, okay, in this way, and you want access to my bedroom, you want, access to this beautiful spiritual insight and crystalline energy that I have, you have to come correct. And best believe he's gonna come correct, okay? Because if he's the one, he's not willing to risk losing you. And in this is Heart at Home. So I feel like this is upgrades to a home. The fact that home came out, and these the Castle, Heart at Home, and then the next card, which is where the insight came in. I'll tell you guys about it. um the Heart and Home card, these are overarching cards, these three cards, but they were also overarching cards in the reading I just did previously. And in this, there's going to be upgrades to your physical living environment. So some of you may be moving, maybe, a move may be in the horizon for you, right? How soon, that's really up to you and the divine. But I also feel like heart chakra expansions, right? So these expansions that are ultimately taking place, you've done a lot of heart chakra work, right? So you carry yourself with your heart open, and I feel like you're thinking, how could you possibly get any deeper, right? So this heart chakra expansion is happening. I feel like you're thinking, how can it even happen anymore? How can it expand anymore? Because you've expanded your heart, through the hurt, through the pain. You've decided to align with this version of yourself, right? That is beautiful, that it's so divinely, blessed, okay? And you have all this light flowing through you. But now the world is going to start reflecting that to you, and that's why your heart chakra is going to be even expanding even more, right? Because you're going to realize the good that's coming to you, because you are attracting this to you, okay? And your divine masculine, it's helping this be manifested in your life. Now, what I found very funny is that the telephone, right? There's some communication, and it is right underneath the rainbow card, okay, where the wishes are granted, and next to the sapphire card. All right, so this is third eye upgrades that are happening, but the telephone to me is speaking to communication, right? I do feel like this is happening on a root chakra level, right, where the things that you've wanted for a long time, especially if you've been with your divine counterpart, and your divine counterpart, whether it's like telepathy, right, or different things. So certain things Spirit is telling me not to go into, because this is a collective reading. But I do feel like your clairaudient is now making it to your vessel. Your vessel can now actively hold your clairaudient experiences. So you are holding um, upgrades right now, which is being fulfilled on a third eye level, and on a integrating obviously with your body, and for the communication as well too, your clear audience. And this is all being integrated with your body. This is also being very protective, right? So this is your magnetism is bringing this into your root experience. So with this being stated, and I want to sit here and say what the divine told me once again. It's, if a flower has been picked and is being given to you, is it better, than one that you forged and grabbed yourself? And the answer would be neither. It's whichever one you perceive it to be. So, with that being stated, allow yourself to receive. And you can still go forward your own things as well, too, but do not reject the alignments that are being made for you. This is where we're moving to collective. So, I just want to sit here and say thank you so much for allowing me and Spirit, Archangel Michael, to channel. Like to work together to channel this message and bring it to you. I hope that this finds you well, collective, and yes, again, yeah, thank you for listening to this with me in spirit, and take care. Peace.